Welcome back. It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show on Flow FM. Sally Bywater is on the line with me to conclude our South Australian netball coverage with a very exciting segment on the KNT Netball Association. Good to speak with you again, Sally. How are you going?
Oh, I'm very well, and great to be back for another week.
Well, how cold was it last weekend for the KNT girls? I know that some of the other associations were struggling with the weather playing on outdoor courts, and it is a winter sport after all, but yeah, we finally had some actual winter weather last Saturday in some of the state. Yeah,
we did, absolutely, but we weren't too bad here. I think there might have been a bit of rain in the morning, from some of the grounds, and some grounds didn't get anything. So, it was just a hit and miss when you're such a big little area, but so fantastic weather for some, and especially for those Keith and Boardtown games in the stadium last week was very much appreciated.
Right, well, the winter athletes are doing a pretty good job dodging the winter weather in some parts of the country, at least certainly in the southeast. So let's have a look at last week's games, and it all kicked off last Friday night. So Keith and Boardtown getting an extra day's rest before tomorrow's games, but Friday night at Keith, it was the home side. Keith beating Boardtown 45-26, pretty low scoring compared to what we've gotten used to seeing here in the KNT.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, we've been getting some really high scores, and considering this was a Friday night game inside, and it had a really good crowd there, which was fantastic for their atmosphere there. But Keith very dominant in this game and had a great 23-13 goal lead at half time, and then just really stormed home between the last quarter by 6, but a very low scoring third quarter with only 8 goals to 5. But Keith really shown they are playing some great netball this season, and Boardtown will probably want to go back to start again, but fantastic game here by Keith.
Good win indeed by Keith. They continue rolling on. They're going along nicely this season. Border Districts had a win as well, 23 goals over Kingston at Kingston, 59-36. Good win there for them, and they needed that one. They've had a couple of suboptimal results, so good for them to get a big win on the board.
It was a great win here by the Border Districts girls, and yes, they have had some of those games that have been going seesawing, but they've a goalie down, but still playing some great netball and having a great win here against Kingston, and a really dominant first quarter to be 16-5 up at quarter time. So a fantastic start by them and a fantastic finish. So a good win here by Border Districts, and Kingston were competitive most of the game, which was great to see.
Probably the most intriguing result of the round, this one. Mundulla absolutely smashed Penola 67-30, more than doubled their score. They're 10-0 on the season, and Penola, it's not like they're a bad team. They're the reigning premiers and they're sitting 4th on the table, and they were no match for them. It doesn't look like anyone is any sign of stopping Mundulla at the moment.
No, just a fantastic win here by Mundulla, and Penola had a full side, so that was their full strength side. So obviously it really does show how good Mundulla are playing this season and really gelling well as a team, and a great win there to have 67 goals on the board, which was fantastic. So very defensive. They're a great defensive team, only keeping Penola to 30. So Penola want to regroup because they'll probably meet each other again sometime later in the season, but we all know how good Mundulla are this year, and it's really proved in this game.
Where are Penola at the moment, Sally? A 37-goal loss on the weekend. Reigning premiers, obviously. In their last few rounds, they haven't been as convincing as what we've been used to. 7-goal win over Lucindale, 9-goal loss to Keith, a 6-goal win over Border Districts in their last few. So not quite the dominance we were seeing a bit earlier in the season.
No, it's obviously their first half of the season was a really good one, and probably this middle bit there, just lacking something and just not getting score on the board in that game. So hopefully they'll get back to training and put some nice wins on the board over the next few weeks, and because obviously this is their last season in the KNT, they want to finish strong.
It was 53-36 when those two sides met earlier in the season. Mundulla have widened that gap by a significant margin. Last game of the round was at Lucindale and Kybe-Bolite. Lucindale winning that one 60-38.
Yeah, great win here by Lucindale. We said they did have to get a nice win on the board, and they've obviously proved that in this game, which was really good for them. They're playing some good netball. They just have been on the wrong side of a few losses as well, and really wanting to cement their spot in the final 5, and they're not quite there yet, so they have to win these games and win them well to play finals netball.
Yeah, really good win there for Lucindale. Not so good for Kybe-Bolite. And Narracourt were on the bye, so let's look ahead to next week. And it is starting off with a very good round. When I say next week, I mean tomorrow. Penola are hosting Narracourt tomorrow. This one should be a thriller. Narracourt, this is probably a really good opportunity for them to cause an upset against one of the premier teams of the comp, Penola, who are in a tiny bit of a form slump at the moment, but they'll be very keen to respond to last week's big loss.
Absolutely, they will. And Narrow obviously coming off that bye, so they've had a week's extra rest. And when they met in round 2, it was a 20-goal win to Penola. So they'll really wanting to be having that win again, and they've obviously limited the opportunities for Narrow in that game. So hopefully we'll see a much closer margin this time. A great game because these are two teams in the middle of the ladder. So I think it'll be a great game. But I think Penola might get the win slightly.
No reason to think that Mundulla are going to lose anytime soon, but Bywater hosts them tomorrow. Are the Tigers any chance of causing the upset there?
I don't think they will. I think they'll go into the game with lots of confidence, and let's hope they have a great game. But Mundulla obviously playing some great netball, and Kaiby's still trying to get those wins on the board. So I think Mundulla will have a good win, and hopefully Kaiby a bit closer. It was a 30-goal margin the first time they met, so it could be close to that again this time.
I should clarify when I say the Tigers there, I'm talking about the Bywater Tigers. This is, of course, the ultimate battle of the big cat, Tiger v Tiger.
It is, that's exactly right.
All right, we'll move on to the next game. Bordertown are hosting Lucindale, and Lucindale, you'd expect them to stay on the winners list here. Bordertown, even with the home ground advantage, probably not quite on the Roos level.
I don't think so. I think Lucindale will get a nice win here. And when they played earlier in the season in round 2, it was a 30-goal win here for Lucindale. Let's hope it's a bit closer this time round. But Bordertown is putting some good games on the board, but then they had some really blowout margins. So let's hope it's some more competitive. Lucindale for the win in this one.
And this one might be shaping up as match of the round. There are some good contenders for match of the round, but Keith and Border Districts, they played in round 2 all the way back on the 20th of April, if you can even remember that long ago. Keith won it at Keith 46-44, and it should be another really good game here. Border Districts home game. Who do you think wins, Sally?
Yeah, I think this will be a great game, and obviously I'm going for match of the round in this one. This one will be played in Apsley, so a bit of a trek over there for the Keith girls, but I think they'll be up to the challenge, and they only won this in the last quarter in that last game, so I think Keith are playing some good netball. They are second on the ladder. I think they'll get the win here, but I think it'll be another close margin. So yeah, Border Districts will put up a great fight.
All right, lots of good games on tomorrow in the KNT Netball Association. Quick look at the ladder before we wrap up. Mundulla undefeated, followed by Keith in second at 9-1. And then, Sally, we get into this massive crunch in the middle of the ladder. Border Districts are third at 6-4. Bywater are seventh at 4-6. And there is a massive logjam between those teams there. So it's going to be really interesting to see which teams out of that group. Only 3 out of those 5 can play finals, and it's going to be interesting to see who gets these all-important wins down the stretch.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. I love to see this type of competition, and obviously Mundulla and Keith will be at the top, and these other 5 teams will be fighting out for those 3 spots. So I'm really looking forward to the last 5 rounds.
Excellent. And just one last example of just how close this competition is at the moment, despite Mundulla being the runaway leader. Bordertown and Kingston down the bottom have each got 2 wins on the board as well. So very close comp at the moment. Looking forward to another thrilling round this weekend. Good luck to everyone playing tomorrow. Sally, enjoy all of the games, and we'll chat to you next Friday.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.